All is well, back at you today with some more RTD News updates. And as you can tell from today's title, Congress is coming after your 401k. America's pension crisis is getting worse. I'm going to be covering several different articles, all dealing with the ongoing pension crisis we're experiencing here in America and what is to come. And so we're only 4 days into the new year, and already we have news about countries deciding to remove themselves or rethink the dollar, or aka dump the dollar. President Erdogan in Turkey tells his citizens in order to help the country out, it'd be in your best interest to go under your pillow, grab the dollars, the euros, and gold. And as you tell from today's title, how the baby boomers will lose their retirement nest egg, I want to share with you a couple thoughts as well as some articles on how the next market correction will be catastrophic for a lot of people. Always cash crisis worse. About Venezuela once again. Systemic important banks. They removed the 1,000 called monetary awareness.
All right, we are live for a little RTD News update midday. And so I had to check in due to the recent news in regards to the stimulus. And so, of course, as I've been talking about for several weeks and months now, everything is subject to stimulus talks. And it looks like it's official now that President Trump wants to ride this thing out and play his chance as to whether or not this whole election process will run smoothly still, minus the stimulus side of things. So going to talk about that a little bit, share my 2 cents on it, and then definitely want to hear from you guys as well. So welcome to the RTD News updates. It's been a minute since I've done an actual midday news briefing type of thing, so I'm excited to do this. And it was also via chat, not taking phone calls this afternoon. Just want to hear from you guys via the chat, and it's going to be short and sweet, get right to the point and go from there. But as always, I want to make sure I make it known to you guys that there's a lot of purging taking place on YouTube these days between the censorship as well as shadow banning, you name it. And so definitely, in case RTD, Rethinking a Dollar, disappears, I want to make sure you guys are aware of where you can find us at. So just click beneath this video here to connect with me via the social media platforms so that we can still stay tuned in and stay plugged into one another. So that being the case, welcome to the live stream real quick. Want to just run through the recent news as well as share my 2 cents as to why this current no stimulus deal between now and the election will probably end up being the tweet or the response heard around the world, because as of now, as the markets draw towards a close, they're definitely tanking downwards. And I imagine markets around the world tomorrow will open up also in the red because, of course, Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell came out today basically pleading, demanding that there be some type of fiscal package passed, in a sense saying that there's no amount too small or no amount too big to keep this recovery narrative going. So, yeah, we're going to touch on that real quick and keep it on moving. So, welcome to this news update. Let me check in via chat and acknowledge a couple people for taking time to join us. We got JoJo, we got Philman, Excalibur, Truth or Nothing, Max Strong, Code Red, Natural Mama in the building. We got Jay, Keenan, I'm sorry. We got Truth or Dare, Kwame, Miles. Okay, so a fair amount of people, man. So I'm assuming you guys have had a chance to, find out about the no stimulus package or no stimulus package. And before this news update here, I was actually thinking about how it would be great, it would be good if there was no agreement, so that there would not be a stimulus, so that we can kind of begin accelerating this thing as far as this transition. And so I think by President Trump basically calling off talks between the House and the Senate, I think that puts more pressure on the Federal Reserve now to have to now respond in a way that I think they were trying to hold off. And so now, because there's no talks, there'll be no stimulus. Therefore, the narrative of an economy and a recovery and stuff like that will be challenged. So therefore, the Federal Reserve is back into the corner now. So Jerome Powell going to have to come out swinging. And of course, I've always mentioned those 13 lending windows. If corporations are really in need of funds, they're going to have to actually go out there and so-called borrow it directly from the Fed. But yet they will not be concerned with the keeping their employees happy or employed. So, but I want to just check in real quick and share some things with you. So I'm going to go right to my screen here. And as you guys know, from what we talked about yesterday, I think it was. So here we have, let me put the screen on up here. Here we have a tweet from the weekend where President Trump was talking about how the economy. So basically saying the economy, all right, great, U.S. wants and needs stimulus, work together and get it done. Thank you. And of course, that's not going to be the case. And of course, the follow-up tweet to this was about how good the Dow was doing and how jobs and stuff like that. But that's not going to be the case for much longer, because I'd imagine corporations will not respond favorably to this, as there's more pressure put on their share prices, therefore causing them to have to make some somewhat tough decisions as to how many people they're going to be letting go and how many furloughs that will become official firings pretty soon. So this morning, the markets opened up relatively in the red due to, or responded unfavorably to, Jerome Powell, basically sounding pretty desperate. And so for those that didn't have a chance to listen to his little, spiel, he basically laid it out the fact that, this so-called recovery narrative is due to the fact, or it's dependent upon, there being some type of fiscal response. And so he says the risk, I'll read a little bullet here. It says the risk of overdoing it seems for now to be smaller, central bank told chief analyst of the National Association of Business Economics. And so basically said the same exact thing, but yet he seems a little bit more, if you have a chance to watch it, he seems and sounds a little bit more desperate these days, because it's hard to continue to spew the same nonsense of the mandates and overshooting inflation and the maximum employment mandate narrative. Because once again, if you're up here pleading that, the government gets involved by borrowing more, i.e. this whole stimulus package, and then positioning all those liabilities on the American people, i.e. taxpayers, with these grants for the PPP program, makes it very difficult for people to believe that for much longer. So speaking of which, my mouse is acting up on me, so let me switch mouse. All right, so this should go smooth. Okay, so here we go. All right, so how's everybody doing this afternoon? Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to check in real quick and share some updates as to what's going on. And so here's the article that I wanted to touch on. And it says, President Trump says no coronavirus stimulus bill until after the election. And so that right there is of surprise. I'm caught off guard with this, but yet because the Nancy Pelosi and her crew were trying to play hardball, it looks like on the surface that he's trying to throw a wrench in their game plan by just stalling talks altogether. And it looks like his primary hangup is the fact that he doesn't want the funds, the $2.4 billion, whatever trillion they're trying to propose, to touch the states. He's not trying to bail out the states in a sense. And so that, from his angle, is the hangup. But of course, there's always more to the story than we're being told. But it looks like, and I would be willing to put it out there, let me know what you guys think. But based upon all the mainstream narrative, especially in the polls, depending on what polls you're looking at, it appears that Biden, has a pretty comfortable lead. And I'm looking at a lot of TA as well as analysts or whatnot talk about that the markets are pricing in a Biden win. So, could this last minute call off of negotiations be to disrupt that type of thing? If that is the case, I'm not 100% sure. But once again, what this is basically telling us, no stimulus talks, no PPP, and then no extension of unemployment benefits, no stimulus checks for countless of millions of people that are experiencing difficulties. And so that right there equals problems for Main Street. And so once again, this whole PPP talk, Corona stimulus package, is geared towards, as they say, quote, to help the American people. But at the end of the day, it's all funneled through the banks for them to do the PPP process, for the corporations to then do their corporate buybacks and buy out the executives and all the things that they do that way. And of course, the funds are designed to go to the people last. But if there's no corporations getting funds via the PPP loans and Main Street's not getting loans, what do you guys think is going to happen? It's going to be a meltdown. So as I was mentioning last night, here's the current activity on the markets now. And so as of now, everything, as far as our major indices here, happens to be in the red. And tomorrow morning, I anticipate Europe as well as Asia responding very unfavorably as well. So this could be that event, so Trump, by him stalling talks, this could be the trigger to that event that we're talking about that could lead us into a very rocky November, but we'll see. And so once again, doing too much rant, let me check in with you guys real quick and see what's going on in the chat and get your guys' thoughts. So for this here, highlight at Rethinking a Dollar, it'll stand out, and I'll definitely try to touch on it. And what do you guys think about this? Is this a strategic event done by Trump to disrupt any type of political momentum, supposedly, from the poll situation? Or is he just literally throwing a wrench in all of this, i.e. further accelerating the whole reset aspect? Because I think as a result of this, the Federal Reserve will have to now shuffle some things behind the scenes. And I think it has a lot to do with them trying to hold off on having to outright increase the amount of their quantitative easing programs, as well as limit the timing for the corporate world, i.e. the banks or whatnot, to have to come in and use those last minute 13 lending facilities that they set up. So I think the goal was to always depend upon Congress to come together to further bail out Wall Street, i.e. the banks and everything else. And then down the line, sometime next year perhaps, they would have to come in and save the day with the universal basic allowance program and all the direct payment methods that that we're all expecting. All right, so we got here. So I see a lot of Biden here. It's low blood pressure says, no, my credit cards or so suffer will suffer. Miles says he guaranteed Biden the win and the market will fold on Biden win. It's really Obama pulling the strings. Really. I don't doubt it. And so, and that's one of the biggest hangups is that no matter whether it's a Trump or Biden win, we know ultimately you can't continue to juice the markets and juice all the overinflated asset bubbles without there being some type of hangup or correction. And of course, all this is leading towards that reset, the great reset that, you know, all central banks, all the world of financiers are trying to usher in. But I think, and this is where we're going to find out, if this is a deliberate wrench thrown into the plans of those trying to facilitate this shift, I think it might accelerate things faster. Therefore, catching the central banks off guard, as well as all the other industries and whatnot, this suffering big time, catch them off guard to where this might not have been a part of the plan. Because once again, everything was subject to some type of coronavirus stimulus package. And so, but I'm extremely excited that there's no type of deal being done because it further accelerates this thing. And it's the idea I'm tired of drawing this thing on as if everything is going good because both sides are lying to us. It's just a matter of the people waking up. And I think the faster this process takes place, the better it will be for all of us because the more they kick the can down the road, the more pain it's going to cause. It's time to bring this thing on and get this party started. Because after last night's chat especially, I came to the conclusion that based upon the current trends, if you look at how everything has already been laid out in front of us, and I was talking about more so the pharmaceutical sales pitch done by President Trump yesterday from the balcony of the White House, everything has been set up directly according to the plan that was already laid out. We got the event, which was the pandemic. We got the crises that's unfolding, lockdown, everything, cause problems in the markets and cause confidence and destroying small businesses, ruin households, you name it. And then a solution, of course, was supposed to be the vaccine. But as of right now, this right here could definitely derail all that. But you think about this. We got Operation Warp Speed. We got Operation Jumpstart. And they don't tell us what other operations are out there, which are all already in place, regardless of who wins the election. No matter what, the military is going to be on the streets. No matter what, with the Jumpstart program, they're going to have RFID chips in the vaccines. That's already a part of the plan. So all this market stuff is just a cover-up or a delusion from what's really going on. And I think this type of activity here definitely puts a wrinkle in their plans because it brings it a lot. It brings the disaster of all this a lot sooner. All right, so what we said here says voting works as a homeless in California. And let me see here. It says Democrats want to give billions to the illegals, bailout in competent states that are ran by idiots. Yeah. So once again, there's going to be a meltdown in the states. No funding. If we go, and so here's the thing: there's no way that there'll be any of the senators being able to come together to agree upon a stimulus after November 3rd, especially if it plays out to be very chaotic, and if there's no immediate announcement of a outright winner, then there'll be no negotiation. So we're looking at the possibility of there being no stimulus whatsoever. However, there's one thing I want to mention here that President Trump did mention, and he said that after he wins or after the election, that he would come and have a package that would be extremely large. So we'll see here. So let me find this here. Let me find this. Let me see. I saw it somewhere. He is basically saying there will be no talks. And so President Trump says there will be no coronavirus stimulus bill until after the election. In his statement, Trump says he plans to pass a major stimulus bill if he is reelected. So based upon his statement here, they quote him as saying passing a major stimulus bill. So it looks like he's positioned himself as like position himself in favor so that people, those that are suffering, those that might be really in need of some type of stimulus, will be more incentivized perhaps. So I remember I did a video a couple of months ago about him making some adjustments with the retirement side of things by basically allowing people to invest in more riskier assets, incentivizing them to say, hey, you retire more because I want to make sure it's more profitable for you. He was using his position as or running for president or re-election term as a way of saying, if you vote me in, you'll get this type of thing. So it looks like perhaps whatever this major stimulus bill he's talking about is another one of those tools that he's using to further incentivize that those that might be on the fence to come in and vote for him. And so I'm gonna end up with just sharing with you his little last tweet thread here and get your thoughts on it. Then we'll touch on this later on the live stream portion. But it says here, Nancy Pelosi is asking for $2.4 trillion to bail out poorly run, high-crime Democrat states, money that is in no way related to this situation. We made a very generous offer of $1.6, and as usual, she is not negotiating in good faith. I am rejecting their request and looking to the future of our country. I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election, when immediately after I win, I will pass a major stimulus bill that focuses on hardworking Americans and small business. I've asked Mitch McConnell to not delay, but to instead focus full-time on approving outstanding nominees for the Supreme Court. So it looks like, never mind the stimulus, never mind all the funny money that they're going to try to create. Let's focus on our Supreme Court seat. He says, our economy is doing very well. The stock market is at record levels, jobs and unemployment. So that was prior to the markets turning red. Of course, tomorrow was going to open up even further down. It says, also coming back in record numbers, we are leading the world in economic recovery, and the best is yet to come. So once again, more mind games being played from the White House. But yet, are you surprised? So here we have the tweet that will be heard around the world. So expect tomorrow morning markets to respond unfavorably as they open up in all parts of the planet. And therefore, this could be the escalation. This could be that event that, not necessarily a false flag, but this could be the flag that really gets this thing rolling. So that being the case, I just want to check in real quick, share what's going on, share my 2 cents. And also, I want to hear from you guys real quick. Let me check back in the chat. What do you guys think? It's a low blood pressure. Says, Trump will stimulate executive orders. He is my hero. Yeah, so once again, based upon his tweet, it looks like his primary focus will be the Supreme Court nominee, getting her through to where I can, it's going to be hard to see, but it's going to be right now. There will be no bipartisanship being done in D.C. So right now there's a warfare in D.C. And unfortunately, no matter what happens, I believe that the corporations will get funds first, somehow, some way. And especially if this downward trend in the markets continue because of the layoffs. Because once again, we all can see, if you just turn on your mainstream news and even family and friends and whatnot, between job layoffs, all the moratoriums and all the delinquencies, the foreclosures, all the collateralized loan obligations is going belly up right now. We got all types of things behind the scenes going belly up. There is no recovery. And so, yeah, not so many people believe that, but yet the rest of the world will probably join suit pretty soon. So, and then Costco is selling gold now. Yeah, I saw that. Country is bankrupt, 50% done, needs a cocaine high every few months. Now trillions will buy a pack of gum soon. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. So I just want to check in real quick, share my 2 cents, and just keep you guys up to date. Looking to get more of these little news updates in there. And so I dialed back for a while, but yeah, definitely I think as time moves forward, there's going to be more news events and things coming out that I want to keep you guys up to speed with if you have not found out for yourself. But as always, it's been great hanging out. Real quick news update. Make sure you guys scroll beneath this video here. Check out some of these alternative links here. And definitely, if you're on them or if you're not on them, I would encourage you to set up an account. They're free. And some of the ones on this side here are more of the decentralized nature. So they're definitely something that will be up there, even if YouTube decides to pull some things down. But anyway, people, be blessed, be safe. I will see you guys later, and I will see you later. Peace.
Hey there, hope all is well. Back at you today with some more RTD News updates. And as you can tell from today's title, Congress is coming after your 401k. America's pension crisis is getting worse. I'm going to be covering several different articles, all dealing with the ongoing pension crisis we're experiencing here in America.